All right. Welcome to a brand new episode of The Black Truth today. It's not really in frame. Okay, before I start, I want to personally apologize right now to Nick because I haven't taken a shower because I've been trying to fix this whole studio my whole weekend. You know, usually, I'll be honest, I don't even have time to like just watch anime anymore. All right, I do have some to the new shit, but like just so all my backlog and shit, I can barely get to it because every day, every waking day, I'm thinking about this podcast. Except when it comes to making the clips. When it comes to making the clips, I'm pretty lazy when it comes to that, but for the most part, I'm pretty dedicated. So it's that that's why I haven't taken a shower, but also at the same time, I read this article on the Times of India, and they said that the showers are actually not good for your health.
Well, actually, there is some truth in that. It's better for your skin, and it's actually better for your hair too to only shower once a month.
So shout out to
blacks.
Shout out to I was gonna think of some Indian name. I can't even think of it.
Shout out to that guy from Flagrant.
Shout out to Anasi Singh or whatever his name is, or whoever the name of the guy is who's gonna play Booster Gold. Do you know who Booster Gold is?
No, who the fuck is that?
All right, it's hold up, we're at so it's his DC character that sorry, I'm gonna have to go on Google. Booster Gold. So basically, he's like the OG like influencer. So basically he like went back. He's like in the 30th century in DC, but he went back in time to like the current day to like because he knows that superheroes are popular in modern times. He goes to the current time where he takes like a time machine to go back, and then he basically like, and also he has like the flight ring from the Legion of Superheroes that gives you the ability to fly, and he has his power suit. So he doesn't actually have any powers, but he basically has like the same amount of powers as like Superman does, kind of. But anyways, he became like a very popular character in like the 2000s because at first he was kind of just like a shithead like superhero. Like obviously he does good things, but like he would do like he was like a joke, like a D-level character. But then in the 2000s, they try to make him like this crazy like time travel, like that he can go anywhere and everything. But anyways, you know that this guy, you see how he looks like, right? White guy. James Gunn is gonna hire the guy who got a 6-pack for the Eternals movie to be Booster Gold.
No fucking mom.
And I think everyone is I think it's set in stone, but I think everyone is like universally like, how do I say it? They're like, this guy, like one of the main draws to Booster Gold is that he's like a piece of shit white guy. So once you get this guy, is like, it's gonna lose his effect. And it 100% feels like they just did this because the Eternals isn't going to do well, or there's like the Eternals isn't really gonna come back. So they were like, oh, like let's just give it to this guy because we feel. Because we feel bad about him like getting ripped, and he's not even going to be in that move. Anyways, before we start, we almost forgot about this. We're probably gonna have to. I don't know if we should do a whole episode on this, but you know, obviously R.I.P. Pope Francisco.
Yeah.
That happened last week. I don't know, like I don't want to make jokes necessarily, but we do think something happened regarding JD Vance. I don't know, man. It's kind of sus what happened over there, but I think you probably have more things to say about that.
What did you think about his papacy?
Huh?
What did you think about his papacy?
Oh, like his administration?
Yeah.
Well, how do I say this? I think it's kind of obvious he was like one of the more progressive ones. But
what do you mean by progressive? Because that's like a strong word.
Because he wanted to include like other religions. From what I remember, he wanted to be more inclusive to other religions. in other world. And in some regards, him being progressive was a good thing because obviously, like, you know, he would talk to like the church in Gaza.
Yeah,
like,
he spoke
day.
to them every night.
And all that
And
stuff.
I don't understand. Like, this is one thing that pisses me off about evangelicals, or even like just Zionist Christians in general, where like they'll hear that and they'll be like, "Yeah, well, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, how is that not? I don't know. I don't know. Zionist Christians piss me off, but yeah, you know, I don't think he was that progressive. I think he was like, I know he believed in like not open borders, like mass immigration and global. What is it? Global
Globalism.
No. What the fuck is it called? Oh shit. The climate change and shit like that, like the environment. Like, he was big into that. I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong about caring about the environment. I sound like a fucking liberal, but there's nothing wrong with that. But other than that, I don't really think he was that liberal. And then the news would always like misconstrue everything he says, especially like right wing media.
Yeah, it seems like they always wanted to like talk bad about him. Like, at least conservative media, they always wanted.
Yeah,
to,
like, have you seen those AI posts of like Pope Francis and the devil, where it's like, oh, it's your time or something like that? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I don't, because obviously both of us we were there when he first became the Pope, so we were both like around and everything, and we saw like the beginning and the end.
Yeah.
So I guess it feels more like
And
crazy to us.
You know what's cool about the internet? So, okay, have you seen that the Black Bishop or Cardinal Robert Serra?
Yeah.
What's cool about the modern era is that the popes, or excuse me, the cardinals now, like, we see who they are and what they stand for on social media. You know what I mean? Because a lot of them have you know, a lot of them have like their own what is it, like social media platforms where they could talk about whatever it is that they believe, so you get a better idea of who this person is and whether or not they're going to be a good leader for the church. Because think about it, prior to Francis, Pope Francis, prior to Pope Francis, like, basically, like, you didn't know who Benedict XVI, well, you didn't know who John Paul or Pius VI, you didn't know who any of these guys were.
Yeah, there was kind of like an anomaly.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
There was like a curtain over like everything, and then now that the internet kind of like exposes us to more knowledge, it helps them, the other what do you call it, cardinals?
Yeah.
Helps expose them a lot more. But also we have a lot of fucking sorry, excuse my language with this topic, but we got a lot of shitheads who are like, oh my gosh, it's gonna be like, oh my god, a Conclave. It's gonna be like Conclave, where I gotta watch Conclave.
It's kind of funny that Conclave came out last year too.
It's like, oh my god, the Conclave's gonna happen. It's like in real life, bro. They're gonna have to play on ESPN.
But no, I mean, I think now the people are probably gonna have more, I don't want to say more say, but have more input in who's gonna be Pope, and I think that's kind of a good thing.
I don't know about like,
'Cause I know a lot of people want Robert. I want Robert Serra to be.
I heard that he's not as popular as everyone, as like all these like rad trads try to make him out to be. Like, it's kind of like they just picked like this one guy that's like kind of niche out in like the overall like scheme of things, and they're kind of propping him up.
Well, I mean, he's been on social media before. I mean,
so that's why.
Yeah. His like talking points have been like circling around for a minute. Because the thing that's interesting about Cardinal Serra is that he is that he's black, basically.
Yeah.
Like, let's just do that. Let's just cut this shit, right? He's black, and he believes in conservatism. You know what I mean? He believes in closed borders. He's anti-Islam.
I saw some of the quotes that he was saying. They were like, someone just like edited quotes onto him, and it's like, no, like, he never actually said that, but it was something, I think it was something about like Israel or something like that. But it seems like, I don't know, it seems on the internet like they're trying to prop him up, but in reality he's not like that big. Maybe I don't know.
No, but he's been. I've seen him on like Catholic. What is it like? Like Catholic forums and shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like Tried West or any like these Catholic pages on the internet. They've posted him before. Yeah, he's pretty big. He's been around for a minute, dude. Like, he didn't just come out yesterday. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I feel like I don't mean to be like too cynical or anything, but I feel like it's eventually gonna be like some guy that like no one knows.
Yeah, most likely, because like there's this other American cardinal. I think what's his name? Matt Fradd did an interview with him. People say that he might be the Pope too, because he's very conservative. But there's this German guy that's very liberal. I'm talking about like damn near like heresy, and I really don't want that guy to win. And part of me thinks he's gonna win. But Germany has always been an issue for Christianity since forever, since its inception.
Damn. So, do you got any last things regarding Pope Francis?
Just R.I.P. I think he was a good pope. I think people that hated him are just dickheads. That's it.
Yeah. Well, I think especially the people who like they'd even like take a couple of days to like, you know, chill a little bit. They're just like, no, like he's in hell and everything. And I don't know if you saw this today. There's a bunch of people like see AI like videos of like him and like other people in heaven. I mean, I don't think that's like offensive. I just think it's like dumb. But
I seen one where it's like King Von shaking up with Pope Francis or something.
Yeah. I think that someone did all those, and they did like Mac Miller and like I don't know, a bunch of these other celebrities. I'm like,
There's this meme of I'm not gonna get into that, but let's just get into the fucking topic of today's Black Truth.
So okay, RIP for Pope Francis. That's what I'm gonna leave it at. Just wanted to bring that up because I don't know if we were ever gonna bring it up in the future. But today I want to talk about this anomaly, not anomaly, but something that's kind of tearing into something that was like on the internet. It started on the internet. And the problem is that it's now tearing into like mainstream society, which is the incel problem. And I'm not saying that the problem is that their incels existing, but just like the usage and like the overall like how liberal, not liberal like politically, but how like loosely the term has been used in modern society. And it's one of those words that sticks. You know how like brain rot. When's the last time you heard someone say brain rot? Like the word brain rot.
Well, I haven't heard anybody say that. IRL
in like a year, right?
Yeah, I'd say about a year. Yeah.
Because everyone just calls everything slop now. So I'm gonna move the camera a little bit. You know? I don't want them just seeing some like gray blob. Be like, who the heck is talking? You make sure you're in the row. Dang, you look, bro. No, it's just me blocking. Oh, just blocking the light. Hold up. Whoa.
Technical
Boomer
difficulties.
Tech. Oh my gosh, how did I move this light? Sidetrack before you get to. So we always talk about how like boomers like complaining about like not being able to use technology. So I was trying to help my parents like put on my sister's game today because she plays a sport. I'm not gonna say which sport because I don't want anyone trying to pull up this podcast and be like, look at it, and then she loses the team. Lord willing, whatever you want to say. But like so instead of like instead of like finding a way to like put, because they're using a Fire Stick, so instead of like opening up the browser and going onto the website that's on their tablet, I think my dad just typed in like Yahoo onto the search bar. I'm like, bro, like anyway, so back to the incel thing. So as first thing, Nick, do you know what an incel means?
Yeah, involuntarily celibate.
All right. Would you consider yourself an incel? Sorry,
no.
I'm blocking you.
No, I don't.
Why would that be?
Well, I don't want to be that guy. I'm gonna sound like a fucking cringe machine, but like, like I do talk to women. I do go out with different girls and shit. Like, I don't want to put my own personal business out there, but I do have I have a couple female friends. I do I go out with girls like probably go out with a different girl like once a week. You know what I mean? That's kind of my thing. And like I'm gonna put this is the only personal shit I'll ever put out there. I haven't fucked since January, so I have been voluntarily celibate since then.
No, but you're voluntarily celibate.
Yeah, not involuntarily.
Yeah, you're voluntarily celibate.
Yeah, I do think.
So that's what we're trying to get. The main thing is the word. It's like it's not even like a word that like just is like interpretable. Like, listen, I don't know, like the term gooner. It's just been like interpretable, has like no actual root or anything like that. Incel is two words compiled into one, so it should always mean involuntarily celibate. But the problem now is that people, even like unwillingly, like even you kind of fall into the trap where we just call like anyone incel. Like, I remember like in one of the earlier episodes, you kind of and you have to apologize for this. You called the famous YouTuber Leafy is Here. You called him a incel, and I had to. I think after that we found out that he had a kid or something like that, or like he got someone pregnant. So I had to have you like recontract or what. Take back that statement because it was infactual. And I kind of did it for a joke, obviously, but it's still kind of like in my head. I was like, well, he isn't.
He's not technically an incel.
But even we're getting into that thing where we're using that term like liberally. But anyway, so I want to get into this video I saw, which really got my blood boiling. So I was like, I need to take Pope Francis out, bro. RIP. You should probably be the next one. So I was in this
I'm sorry. She looks so fucking stupid.
So there's this like meta on YouTube that I've kind of been a little tapped into. I don't like that I'm tapped into this thing, but there's this, how do I say it? They're like fake, or I guess they call them femcells, which obviously is also fake. But
I think femcel is like that thing that like girls do where it's like they want a relationship that's like 50-50, but they really don't. They say they want a 50-50 relationship, but they don't.
Well, the problem is that it's a LARP. So the LARP that I've seen a lot of these girls do is like LARP, is the hikikomori LARP. Now, if you don't know, hikikomori, it's a Japanese term, and it's mainly or the term means someone who is a shut-in, someone who stays inside their house, and it is actually like a problem in Japan, where there's like a generation of people in Japan who like never leave their house, stay inside, they don't participate in society and all that stuff. And I think there was like an anime that came out in the 2000s that kind of like highlighted that thing, or that the social status, or you want to call it. But now, or back in the day, there were people that they kind of aligned with that, like Western people, and they're like, yeah, I'm a hikikomori, I don't go outside and everything. And it also is what's it called? It's like semi-related to NEETs. Now, NEET is a Japanese term, but it's in English. So NEET means not in education, or what's it called? Not in education, or basically it means you don't have a job. But hold on, let me look it up. Let me find the whole saying first. NEET. Yeah, so oh my, what the, is Google okay, bro? That's okay. So yeah, according to Wikipedia, NEET is an acronym for not in education, employment, or training. Now, to be a NEET, you don't necessarily have to be like a shut-in, because that's what a hikikomori is. But a NEET is kind of in that same like realm of someone who doesn't participate in society. But anyway, going back, so there's this trend on YouTube I've been seeing where it's mainly females. They're like doing like bedroom vlogs, and they just talk about how like, oh, I don't have any friends and everything. But it's very obvious that what they're doing is that they're perverting like the initial term, or like the initial like hikikomori / NEET lifestyle, and they're pretending, because they can't socialize, or they don't have like the social life, even though they participate in society, they pretend to be like an outcast, but in reality they're not. And so I've been watching some of these videos here and there. They kind of get into my thing because I don't know, I have proclivities to liking Oriental women, or Asian women, I guess. I don't know, is Oriental racist? I don't even know. So they get into my algorithm somehow. So not this video per se, but this person's channel got to my algorithm. So I was clicking around, and then I got to this video, which is called "My Thoughts on Incel." So I was like, oh boy, let's see what she has to say. I was actually kind of thinking, I was kind of holding out a little bit that she might be like sympathetic or whatever to it, or she is kind of. But I'm gonna play right now too and see what you think.
I'm going to be talking about something that's a little different today. And you know what? I have a lot of passion about this subject. So, first, I'm wearing a Bone shirt today that I got at the thrift store. And then I'm also wearing a Bone hair clip because I felt really silly. And you know what? I think it's cute. So, anyways, I'm going to be talking about incels.
Yeah, so
I want to beat the fuck out of
this is a LARP. That's the problem. Is that this person is pretending to be someone who cannot socialize, but she's doing things.
She very clearly has pretty good social skills.
She's doing things that
that was a pretty good video intro too. I think somebody without social skills would have like fucked up an intro. Like if you have that bad of like social skills, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's no way. Like you have to have a certain level of social skills to begin a video.
There is what's it called, like a deniability that maybe she's good at conversing on the internet, but okay. But when she goes outside is when she breaks down. But still, she this is like pandering. There's obviously like some sort of like LARP going on with this.
So, let's first clear up the definition of what an incel is. A lot of people think that, oh, it's just someone that like plays games, doesn't have friends, doesn't have a girlfriend. No, that's like majority of us. That's majority of the people. That's not an incel. I think like it's been used so much that like we lost the meaning. But no, an incel in my definition is someone that just hates on women.
I hate this thing. Like, I hate this thing that like people of color do. Well, they'll be like, how is this? Well, they'll be like, oh, like okay, like let's say like there's like a Muslim, right? And they'll be like, oh, you know, my version of Islam, we don't commit terrorist attacks, right? Where it's like, okay, just because you say it's your version of Islam doesn't mean that that's subjective. It's not objective. Yeah. Or like when Mexicans do this thing where it's like, oh well, in my household we had to, you know, serve, you know, my brother and my father food, but in my version of our culture, we don't do that. The boys have to get up and wash the dishes too. It's like, shut up, bitch. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's because the thing is that this person wants the term to stay an insult, which it wasn't at first. It like the term incel wasn't necessarily like an insult. It was like a state of mind, if anything. By the way, I actually do. I wouldn't consider myself an incel because of my life, because of what the stuff that's happened in my life. But I do sympathize with them, and I'm basically like incel adjacent. I wouldn't say that, but technically I can't. What this person's saying is wrong, but I'm technically not an incel. Though that's why I'm so sympathetic to actual ones, not what she's making up. But let's continue. Wow.
On the internet, they like comment, oh my god, she's so mid. Oh my gosh, she's so ugly. And then they like complain that they can't get a girlfriend. Like they have zero respect for women, period. I think that's what an incel is. But we're going to be talking about a reaction challenge today. I'm not going to name them name because like no free clout, you know. But they made a video reacting to my video that I made on New Year's. And they were like basically nitpicking everything I said. They were like, oh my god, it's a girl. All she has to do is go outside and like plenty of guys will ask for her number or whatever. And like, are you dumb? That's not how it works, man. I'm afraid of socializing, but that's not.
Bruh.
Topic of this video. And the majority of people that were like interacting with this video were Hispanic, so they were all like, oh my god, yeah, like she's not even that pretty. I don't know why people like her video or whatever. And then they were like saying things like,
I don't know if she's ever been on the internet ever in her life. I think it's pretty common for people to get insulted for their looks. You know what I mean?
Easy because I was a female, which is technically not true because if you look at history, but whatever.
Whoa. Wait, what?
What that bitch saying?
Whoa, wait. Let me go back into this. Might actually change my whole opinion on this person. Hold on, Ryan. Oldest. I was thinking about it in the back of my head. The back of my head.
The back of your head.
Okay, no, this is 5 months. Never mind. It's not all the way back. But what did
people like her video or whatever, and then they were like saying things like that I had it so easy because I was a female, which is technically not true because if you look at history, but whatever, I digress. But
Oh, okay. So she's saying that that if you look at history, women haven't had it easy. I don't know why, but for a second I thought she was saying that she wasn't always a girl, and I was gonna be like, "What's happening?" Because it's always in the back of my head when I see, especially there's, cause I've also been like kind of tapped in onto this thing. There's like these like aesthetic like Hello Kitty looking girl channels, and they do like this thing, like they have like this whole like aesthetic thing. Like, you know, she has like the let me see, she had like this Call of Duty thing in the background. Like they do things that are like pandered towards males, and I'm like, well, how do you tapped into that? And then I look into it, and I'm like, no, your bone structure, I could tell right away. Like, no, like I know what's up. So I thought that this was this scenario for a minute.
but like I think those guys are the true incels. Like they're going online where like on the internet there's so many different kinds of videos. Like there's animal videos, gaming videos, music videos. Like out of all the things you could watch, you watch a middle-aged man make fun of an 18-year-old girl on the internet.
What is she
it makes sense why you
referencing?
don't.
What?
What is she referencing?
She said that some person responded to her, but she doesn't want to name her
Oh, okay.
or name him or whatever.
Have a girlfriend now, buddy. Like, let's think about that. If I was like actively like searching content about like why men suck or like why da da da, then like it would make sense why I wouldn't have a boyfriend. Like if I did stuff like that, I wouldn't be saying like, oh my god, why don't I have a boyfriend? Why don't guys like me? While I'm actively searching like why men suck, why men should die, like on the internet, you know? Like those are the same guys that are like commenting, oh my gosh, she's so mid and ugly, like on a pretty girl's post, and like, girl, that's why you don't have a girlfriend. Those are the true incels in my opinion. So let's like stop calling people that don't have friends or like don't socialize incels, and let's start calling those people incels because they're actual degenerates. Okay, goodbye. Thanks for
I mean, I have pretty strong opinions about women, and I have women friends. I have a couple, ladies that are sweet on me. Like, would that make me an incel by her definition?
Yes.
Because I think that bitch is pretty mid.
That would make anyone who's ever been critical. Who do you think is the first person to be critical of women in history? In history,
God. I'll pull out the Bible right now, nigga.
No, I don't not believe you.
Oh yeah.
But I thought you're gonna pick like I thought you're gonna say like Plato or something like that.
Well, Plato too. Plato and Arthur Schopenhauer both say what do they say that women stop maturing mentally at the age of 16.
Yeah, but this
I mean, because like you'll see like a woman with like a fucking PhD and I don't know, and they still act like retarded.
So when I saw this video, I was like an epiphany came to me. That actually, I've been having this problem for a long time where people, especially women, they just decide like this dude right here, this person. Let me see if it's lined up on. Yeah, so I don't know how topical this post was for me, but I got it in my For You page, and it's this person saying the incels are out today in Wrigley, and this person's just complaining about the Black National Anthem, and this guy got 100K likes. Just calls him an incel just for complaining about the Black National Anthem, and I'm like, whoa, like what does that have to do
with being an incel?
Like I feel like what these people have done by making the term incel so like unanimous with just any like right wing male is that they've created because they even say they say what's it called, the male loneliness epidemic or the incel epidemic. Like they've created like a boogeyman in their mind of all these people that are incels, and they've created like a bigger threat of people that don't actually exist. And because there are incels that exist, but I wouldn't say.
I feel like a lot of incels I talk about the true definition of incels.
Yeah.
Like I feel like a lot of them are blue pilled though. No.
Well, I think that's why this person is changing the definition, because if you can put people who are involuntarily celibate, if like the definition isn't what you think it is, and it actually does apply to like people who are liberal or people who have like different values that other than what you think, then it proves your point wrong. Because what I was gonna say is that if you think about it, the final form of being a male, like involuntarily celibate, is becoming a transgender woman, because you become so like depraved. And it's funny because this person says that these guys are degenerates, but you got so depraved that the only way that you can you have to become the female to
have sex.
Yeah, or not even that, how do I say it? To have any sort of like female like touch or whatever in your life, or any sort of femininity anywhere around you, you have to become the woman yourself, that's why I think it's like kind of like the final level of being involuntarily celibate. But I was just thinking, I was like, no, like I was thinking about like the OG incels, and do you know who the OG incel was?
No.
Elliot Rodger. I don't know if you know this guy. Cause we were kids when he did this thing. Rodger. So he had a YouTube channel, and he would just like he was just like black pill like everything in his life. And I'm trying to see a good video of this so that we have a good frame of reference. I don't want to see this liberal.
He titled it "My Twisted World." Elliot Rodger, the 22-year-old suspected of killing 7 people and injuring 13 others before dying himself, possibly of a self-inflicted gunshot wound, tells his story of a life of starvation and yearning in this 140-page document. It chronicles how the more lonely I felt, the more angry I became, leading him to settle on a plan for a day of retribution. The details of the life story he published online are unverified, and it's not clear what of what he wrote is true or fantasy. Mr. Rodger was born in London on July 24, 1991, to Hollywood director Peter Rodger and Lee Chin, who, when he turns 5 years old, relocate to Los Angeles. He describes his early years as one of the best periods. Life was fair and life was satisfying. At age 7, his parents divorce. His 9th year, he himself sees the seeds of his despair being planted.
Let me see this. Oh my gosh. But yeah, it's ABC News vlogs. There used to be like it's kind of weird because this guy is kind of like his actual videos used to be like you can actually see them on YouTube. I think let's see.
Hey, Elliot Rodger here, enjoying a nice vanilla latte.
He's not even an ugly guy.
But yeah, we had to been like around like maybe like 5th grade, when he because he I don't know I forgot what he did. He like killed like 2 people, I think, or something like that, or maybe it was a shooting. I forgot. Forgive me, but he was kind of like the first one, and then
bro even has a jawline.
So when I first got familiar with this term, it wasn't treated like this was like a, how do you say it? That it was like just like a
Is he dead?
Elliot Rodger, yeah, no, he killed himself. But it wasn't treated like an insult. It was treated like legit being like a mental problem. A state of, Alec Milesian. Who is this guy? Alec Milesian. Oh my gosh. But anyway, so what I was trying to get at is that let's see.
Yeah, you probably have better days than this, I guess, eh?
Yeah. Well, I am a little shaken.
When Alec Manassian began his police interview on the same day as the van attack, the 25-year-old said little, but soon his resentment towards women became apparent.
In terms of your feelings towards women in general, how would you describe that?
I would say that sometimes I am a bit upset that they choose to date obnoxious men instead of gentlemen.
Manassian
So how many people do you think? How many people did this person think are like this guy?
remembered the first
Like you saw you saw, do you think every person who just like thinks that you look weird is this guy? That's the problem I have with this thing, is that with just like incel being so like unanimously like used, is that you guys are like dulling the term. It's like when
You consider this guy like a true incel.
yeah. Well, I
mean, obviously they took their frustration to like the highest what's the word?
Well, I think the thing that makes him he's an incel, but he's a more violent one because he was so frustrated that he had to take things into his own hands. But then there's people like this who just think that all these people who just don't like women or whatever, like, or how women act, they're the only real problem. Like, no, like what I'm saying is that when I got introduced to the idea of inceldom, it was not treated as just being a blanket term insult for your problems with Andrew Tate. It was legit treated as like not like a straight up mental problem, but it was treated as like a state of mind. And if anything, it was something that you just had to deal with. It wasn't something like okay, you can't get gash. It was really like, okay, you can't get gash. You just have to work it out. You just have to figure it out. You just have to work out your life.
Sigmund Freud used to diagnose people that could. He would diagnose you if you can't get no bitches.
It wasn't treated as people who are critical of women. It wasn't treated it boggles my mind, the fact that, especially how like liberal this term has become with
the blanket term that they use, that they just throw around.
Yeah, it just bothers me,
and it kind of loses its meaning too.
Yeah,
and then you end up going down like this. Then it ends up turning into a thing where it's like, you can't say anything critical of women because then you become an incel. It's like I've always said this thing about like women with children, single moms, basically, right? Okay, I've always said, maybe you know what? You could tell me if I'm an incel by her definition, what I'm about to say, right? Okay, I've always said, when it comes to single moms, I'll date them, I'll go out with them, but settle down with them I wouldn't, because I don't want to have to deal with the burden of taking care of somebody else's kid.
Yeah. So,
do you think that makes me an incel by her definition?
Yeah, because you don't want to support women.
Exactly, and then, that's what ends up becoming. It ends up becoming they just end up like, straw manning? They end up just straw manning.
What I think this is, it's like if there was one zombie, or there's like 4 zombies in the United States, would be like, okay, that's a problem. We're gonna have to fix that problem eventually with these zombies, but at least it's not horrible right now. And then the next day, someone just starts saying, "Oh, you're also a zombie if you walk funny, or if you have pale skin, or if you're falling, or if you're balding, or if you're like all these other attributes that are aligned with being a zombie, but you're not actually a zombie. You're not gonna kill people. You're not gonna eat people up, and make them zombies as well. But then once you start giving these attributes that other zombies have, then it becomes a bigger problem than it actually is, and you get to call anyone you don't like a zombie. That's what I kind of feel like this thing is.
Yeah.
I'm just like frustrated why these people they obviously like the idea that men are lonely. They're lonelier than ever before. They like the idea of that, and they like the idea that they can call anyone who criticizes them part of this epidemic. But then what they do is that they increase the numbers like artificially by having anyone who is like adjacent or like might be susceptible to this idea. Oh yeah, no, you're an incel. Like if you're really concerned about it, then why would you just add all these people who aren't incels as an incel?
It's kind of like when I say Nick Fuentes is an incel. I don't consider him an incel.
And also
Wait,
that what that does.
When they do articles about him, they always put incel in the headlines, right?
Well, it's because he self-described himself as one because they started throwing the term around. It's like the.
But does he do it ironically? Is that what it is? He self-identifies as an incel ironically, because that's the way I take it when he says it.
Yeah, because these people just started throwing the term around for anything.
So he's like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna." He leans into it.
Yeah, and then there's people that think everything else he does, he does the same thing. But that's why I don't really see a problem with the whole like mass the amount I see a problem with the amount of people labeling, but I don't see a problem with people saying, oh, I'm incel or aligning with ideology, because they've almost been forced to. It's like the same thing with being a white supremacist, being a Nazi. Like, obviously, like, I know you say it as a joke here and there, but like, can you be more in frame? Because right now you're kind of out of frame right now. I know, like, you say it as a joke, but like, I mean, 3 years ago, if someone would have said, "Hey man, why are you white supremacist?" You'd been like, "No, I'm not." But because it's lost the meaning, and the Nazi term has lost the meaning, because now, even more than 4 years ago, because now they think, oh, if you make fun of, or if you say that blowing up Palestinian kids is the bad idea, they're like, oh, you're a Nazi. So all these terms are losing their meaning. Yeah. And so when it actually does happen, when actually these uprisings do happen, you're not going to notice it, because damn near everyone's going to be a zombie when that shows up, when that happens, when it comes knocking on your door, because that's what you guys started. And you guys don't, I don't want to go too deep into like the whole, like, because I think talking about men's mental health is cringe. Or at least making a big deal about it.
I don't think I think this is like one thing we've disagreed on. I don't think there's anything wrong about talking about men's mental health. What I hate like the area of the internet that talks about men's mental health, that how do I say this?
The ones that tell you need to get a prostate massage and all this stuff?
No, like the ones that just sit there and cry about their problems instead of actually trying to fix them.
Can you give some examples?
Like
like when Matthew Santoro was crying?
Yeah, but like, look up, I'll go to Instagram.
Wait, we need to show that for prosperity's sake. I'm sorry. Hey, what are you talking about again?
What I was saying is that I don't see anything wrong with talking about men's mental health, but there has to be a solution for it. Like, go to King's Community on Instagram.
Do you follow these people?
Yeah, I follow it, yeah. I like to stay in tune with what's going on.
I'm gonna get demonetized.
King's Community right there. Yep. Is that
Should I pick this one with a black guy?
Go up. Yeah. Go up. Go up. Play the one with that girl right there.
Interest in you.
You're on the shitty end of this. I'm very sorry,
These are
but
things girls do when they leave you.
guys.
Did you love me or not? Come on, lie to me and tell me you did. Let me feel like the piece of shit I am. Did you love me or not? Answer me!
I don't love you anymore.
I don't love you anymore.
I don't love you anymore, Jordan.
I don't love you.
That video has over 300,000 interactions. Why is that? It's because there are so many men that have been in those situations. They've had women that they've been in relationships for months, years, decades. Just one day wake up and tell them that they don't love them anymore. And part of the problem is it's not your fault that this has happened to you. You were not taught how to lead your relationship properly, how to select the right women, how to...
So he's made videos before just basically being like, wow, it's crazy that women get away with X problem, and men, we just, when we have to deal with it, nobody cares. Where it's like, yeah, no shit, but how do we fix it?
Yeah, maybe Maybe it being
another thing is like this, right? For example, right? Like I'm gonna use like my own anecdotal evidence, right? Because you said, oh, you think it's gay or cringe, right? Okay, think about it like this. Did you ever tell you that I had a friend in high school that died?
Yeah.
Okay, I know multiple people that have died that I went to high school with, right? So, I mean, I'm not up at night crying about it, but when you see that, it fucks with you after some time. You never went through that. You never experienced it. So for you, it's like, oh, what's the big deal? Well, no, yeah. I mean, we used to eat lunch every day together. We used to smoke weed together. His girlfriend, I went to the same elementary school as her. Like, literally, like, I knew this nigga, dude. Like, we were fucking friends. I was friends with his family, too. His cousins. Like, it was a nigga that I knew that I fucked with, right? And he just fucking died, right? So I think, like, yeah, like, I do think some of it is cringe. That's why I have sympathy for incels. Because when you look at a lot of true incels, right? Not this bullshit definition that this bitch gave, but when you look at like the incel problem, right? I think it comes from the same issue that like issues that gay people have. Absent fathers or weak fathers. I think that's what that comes from. Overbearing mothers and absent fathers or weak fathers.
Yeah.
So I do have some sympathy because it's like, because we've created this like mama's boy society. I'm a mama's boy myself, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like most moms are not gonna let their sons go out there and do shit that's gonna get them fucking killed, right? But see, here's the thing: you need to do okay, get killed is kind of extreme, but like moms aren't gonna let their sons do shit that's gonna make them get hurt, right? They just like, how do I say this? Like, okay, like a mom would rather have her son do piano like a homosexual than to do boxing, right? I want my son to do boxing, right? But most moms, they don't want their kid to do boxing because they don't want their kid to get head trauma or break his arm, break his wrist, or, you know what I mean? They don't want him to get hurt. So what happens is that they end up doing piano lessons, right? And then what happens after that? Well, I'm not saying that every guy that plays the piano can't get gashed, but what I'm saying is that they become, what's the word? They become, not blobs, but they basically they lose their testosterone, for the lack of better words, and then women don't find that attractive, right? Because guess what? If your mom would rather you just play video games all day, right, and get fat or some shit than to go out there, let's say, go out there and hang out in the streets and shit.
Yeah, because King Von's out there.
Exactly, but see, here's the thing: you need to get experience out there in the real world to court a woman, right? That's what it is. You gotta learn social skills. You gotta learn how to, like, you know what I mean? How to talk to people, all that shit. And how do they do it if mom won't even let them go outside?
They gotta do it through the internet. They gotta go on 4chan. So glad that site's back up, by the way.
But yeah,
even though we know feds are in it.
That's what happens. That's why I do have some sympathy for them, because again, we've created this like mama's boy society. You know what I mean? I shouldn't even say mama's boy, but like, yeah, because what?
Matriarchal.
Yeah, we live in a matriarchal society, and we see what it fucks up society. This is the exact reason why the dating market, cause even like me, right? I'm light years away from being a fucking incel, but even like with a lot of the issues that I have in the, I guess, the dating world, I think it comes from it comes from fucking living in a matriarchal society, because women want to be with men that are better than them, right? In some way, shape, or form, right? So they want to be with a guy that's confident, that maybe has money. He doesn't have to be rich, but he has to have some motion, right? Even if he's a manager at McDonald's, right? You know, they want a guy that has some motion, confidence, charisma, all this shit. And where was I gonna go with that? If I lost my train of thought. If you don't have the social skills and shit, if you don't have like the ambition and the drive to move ahead in life, you know, and a lot of these guys, they get neutered from their youth. They get neutered from their youth because their mom doesn't want them going outside.
It's not even that. It's also school. Going to school.
The school system too, yeah. we live in a very matriarchal society, and it fucks up guys. Oh, I remember what I was gonna say now. Is that what it does? Is that all these guys that would have been good husbands or whatever, they get neutered, right? So no woman ever wants to fucking be with them. So then all these women got to deal with all, like, you have like 10 men, 10 women, right? 4 out of the 10 men are actually going to be fucking them or going out with them.
Yeah.
And the other 6 are either going to deal with the leftovers, be a stepdad, right? Or be a mandilon, how do I translate that? Like a pussy whip, right? Do you know what I mean? Like the matriarchal society is what's fucked up the dating game. It's fucked up everything.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm the first one that's said that on the internet. But it's a real thing, though.
Maybe on YouTube, because all the other ones are been shut down.
Yeah.
All the ones have been shut down for real. But let's see what. But yeah, no, that's just my my concern with this.
And she's using attributes that are attributes that are stereotypically associated with incels, like following far right politics, right? That's like a stereotypical attribute of an incel, right?
Yeah, or is this
So there's someone like me with an AF hat. They'll be like, "Oh, he's an incel." It's like, well, I guess.
Well, yeah, I would say the biggest problem with the creation of incels is I know that's like something groundbreaking, but like obviously like the problem is that
women create.
Well, it's like what they like to say is that we're holding back because of years of oppression that women have gotten, so that's why we're more aware, so we're gonna stop interacting with women or with men, but that doesn't really happen. They're interacting with men still, but they're being more retarded with their options.
Yeah. It's like that thing that I told you with like I'm gonna attack Hispanic women. We're like, you have little Julio, he's going to college to be a fucking lawyer, but then little Loco, courts her, and she goes and bees with little Loco because little Loco knows how to court her, and then she has a fucking baby, and then she wants to run to Julio and be like, I'm changed, I'm a different girl now. Stupid bitch.
Yeah, and we're supposed to expect that, like, we're supposed to get something back from that, or we're supposed to be okay with that. So yeah, that's just what created the society or the way we're leaving. Well, you're gonna say it started since World War II?
No, well, after World War II. But are you okay with censoring me?
All right.
Okay, so we said I'll say women. Women created the incel pandemic or whatever. But really, if you follow the money, it was the
Explain, but like explain in a highly censored way.
The people from the
are you talking about? I'll explain it to you. I think I know what you're saying. So the people who make the world go around, they decided that to make the world go around a lot faster, we need to stop hiring just people or just men, because obviously back in the day we had the nuclear family and we had solo income instead of dual income, or not even now we probably have like fucking quad income. But because they decide under the guise of feminism and women's suffrage, they were like, okay, well, we'll give you a job.
And the sex revolution in the 60s and the rise of birth control and contraceptives in the 60s. The incel pandemic is just a byproduct of not a byproduct. What's the word?
The final.
It's the result of
the
that.
result. Yeah,
it's the result of that shit. But when you follow the money, it was them boys.
See, I'm media trained. I know how to say it the right way. You guys should hire me. I could not Daily Wire. What's like a semi-based place, but they have to Infowars.
Or what's the other one? Censored.tv.
No, you can say whatever you want. Censored.tv, as long as you're not on Gavin's show. But yeah, no, I don't know. That's just where I wanted to go with this. My little rant. But let's see. Before you end this one out, let's see. If she has any other videos relating to this?
Wow, she's Mike and Ike's.
Accepting myself harm. Oh my.
And another thing, real quick, because she did say something in the video.
So I'm talking about something.
She said something about like that her being a woman. That basically the incels were saying that she has it easy because she's a woman, dude. Why the fuck do you think Lauren Chen had so many followers and shit? She's a hot Asian lady talking about right wing politics. If you made her into a guy, if she was like a half Asian guy, talking about right wing politics, I'm not saying nobody
everyone would just say everyone would just say Ching and Chong in their comments.
yeah.
Like they do with Arthur Kwon Lee.
Yeah. That's what they would do, you know. And that's really what it is, because you as a man have to be exceptional. And I think Myron Gaines talks about this, where it's like men have the burden of performance, women don't, right?
True.
Lauren Chen, Brett Cooper, who else? I'm trying to do somebody else. Because okay, I'm not trying to be mean to like Pearl Davis or Candace Owens, but they're not like conventionally attractive, right?
Can you explain the Candace Owens part? Because that kind of boggles me. And I'm usually one that I don't really dip in the chocolate like that. Because I stand with Dr. Umar.
I've dipped in chocolate a couple times. I've dipped in everything except Arab and Native American. I'm
trying like, what's the problem? You're like, you don't even know what to say. Let me pull a picture of her.
Yeah, no, I don't think Candace Owens is like ugly, but I don't think she's like.
Oh my God! Just stop being a liberal and explain it.
I don't think that she's ugly, but she's not the best looking woman. Like, you know that other light skinned black girl that talks about like right wing politics?
No.
She's like young as fuck. She might be our age.
Is she on Prager University?
I think so.
She has some like Nabutu Wangu name. So can you explain me the problem? Just
about her attractiveness?
Explain me why you don't think she's attractive.
What do you want to talk about? Her fucking facial features?
Because if you're bringing it up, then you obviously have a problem.
Okay, pull up a picture of her.
I have pictures of her up right now.
Pull up one individual picture of her.
Do you need me to make it high res? Let me zoom in on it.
Nah, but her nose is white as fuck. Yeah, I feel like it's too wide for my like.
I feel like you're one of those dudes who are like, yeah, man, I'll be dipping in the chocolate, and then you like Jenna Aiko or
yeah. What the fuck? Eurocentric features are the fucking hottest.
Well, that's like saying like. Like you're gonna pick like the most light skinned girl. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. What the fuck is wrong?
Well, you're like, oh, I dip in chocolate.
Yeah, that's dipping in chocolate.
I dip in chocolate.
White milk chocolate, nigga.